integration for shopping carts into HubSpot. We also are a Diamond Agency partner, and we've been since 2014. What is Unific? So we integrate shopping cart data into HubSpot. We also add enrich that data, and we provide other additional tools to help you cultivate your customers. So I want to start with Dieter Rams. Actually, he's an inspiration to me and millions of designers across the world. He was a head of design at Braun for around 40 years and has created some iconic designs. But his lesson, which I come to often, is he has 10 rules of principles of great design. And one of them is good design is thorough down to the last detail. We're going to talk about that because it should apply to a customer journey. A customer journey should have a good design and thorough to the details. So today, marketers have many challenges. As a small business, we know that very well. You're wearing so many hats that it's impossible for you to pay attention to detail. And e-commerce marketers can never make a good design for their customer journey. So we're going to talk about that, and then also some of the other problems, which is, when marketers take action, it's not well coordinated. They're waiting for unattainable perfection in the data, and they never take action. And then you'll learn why you're like a farmer. Also, how to take data-driven approach to e-commerce growth, generate more repeat buyers, identify weaknesses in the customer journey, and act on them, and use the power of Unific and HubSpot together to delight more customers. So who are our customers? Who are our ideal customers? We can't be data-driven and simplify unless we know who we are trying to get and to keep as customers. So I have a question that you can answer through chat. What is the ideal type of business for an e-commerce? What is the ideal type of customer for an e-commerce business? Just put your answer in the chat.
And I'll take a look. And of course, the chat isn't refreshing right now for me. So let's see, actually. Oh, here it goes. Okay, so someone says anyone that buys, someone who buys again and again. Great answers here. And how about you reveal the truth?
Right. And the answer is active, high lifetime value repeat buyers. That's a mouthful, but that's important. Marketers are so focused on getting new customers, they forget about their existing customers. Converting more of your existing customers into high active lifetime value customers will get you growth. It's always easy to sell to your existing customers than getting a brand new customer. I'm not saying you can't attract new customers and turn them into repeat buyers, but I'm saying you should do both. Now let's look at there are product groups that lend themselves to repeat purchases. Repeat buyers are just subscribers without the contract. The same tactics needed to keep people from canceling their subscription can be used to keep people who don't have a subscription and to keep them to buying from you. People will continue to purchase as long as they get value they're looking for, so e-commerce merchants need customer success to grow their loyal customer base. And what we're saying here is loyal customers are created when you provide great customer success and service. So how do we provide that at scale? So let me introduce a concept of customer cultivation flywheel and why you're a farmer. People love stories. So when we search for a story that anyone can relate to, when I'm trying to explain this very complex concept and simplify it, we came up with cultivation. Cultivation is, when a farmer is, cultivating their crop, they're paying attention to the crop, make sure it has enough sun, water, fertilizer. And, if you remember anything from this, you'll remember that you're really a farmer. When you're trying to create good experiences at scale and making sure that you get repeat buyers, you're really growing your crop of repeat buyers and cultivating those relationships. Hope that makes sense. So why cultivation? Let's try to take the analogy. When a farmer wants to plant, they need to know when to plant, when to water, when, what seeds work best in the soil. So when we compare to getting more repeat buyers, we need to say who actually needs your product, who often, how often do they need the product, and what do they need in order to get the value from your product. And you can see that this analogy works really well with cultivation. Now, what we're trying to talk about here is how do we actually cultivate at scale. Anybody can help make sure that your customers are being taken care of. If you have just a few customer or maybe a few hundred, you can do that. But we need some automation to be able to actually consistently deliver the value that people are looking for. So what does it really mean? Businesses must take time to understand the value or outcomes that a customer is searching for when they make a purchase. They focus on their efforts on finding potential customers who actually need or want the value, and they create an experience oriented around consistently delivering the value throughout the whole customer relationship. Now, how does Unific come in? Where does it fit? And I want to discuss these before we get into the examples, because I want to make sure this is very actionable in HubSpot. So here are some of the features that we have. We have a deep data sync. Of course, we sync orders, customers, products into HubSpot. And without the data, you can't really take action. So Unific is getting the data into HubSpot as quickly as possible from your store. Once we have the data, we do need to understand the segments and buying behavior of each segment. So segment is just a word I just introduced. We're trying to group customers into different segments, and our methodology allows us to look at our entire crop instead of looking at a specific segment. This table allows us to see at a high level how we're doing, how our segments are doing. So you can see in this example, we have a promising segment with a churn rate of 14.89%. That is a high churn rate. So we're losing customers in this segment. So there's a weakness here. Can we survey our customers to find out what happened here? And do we know who these customers are? If we know them, we can survey them through HubSpot. We'll get into that in a little bit. Dynamic segments is another feature where we will create segments and sync them into HubSpot automatically. This is powerful because now you don't have to sit and calculate. We discussed before, you don't have time to calculate all the data and be data driven. Instead, we're calculating this for you. Trying to get data perfect in HubSpot is a challenge. It's possible, definitely possible, but you may wait a long time to actually take action. So this allows you to take action with data directly from your shopping cart, and Unific will load the segment into HubSpot. Finally, coupons. This is to incentivize a purchase or an action you want to take. So if you're trying to get a review, you can incentivize that review with a coupon that's sent automatically through HubSpot. So let's do the flywheel in action. We have attract component to the flywheel. So every business needs to attract customers, whether it's organic or paid. You want it to be effective and have a high conversion rate. Social proof creates trust, and to get social proof, you must have delighted customers. And delighted customers are created when you cultivate that relationship. Here's an example of a review request workflow. This workflow will send a coupon to a customer in exchange for a review. So we want to target only active customers in this example, and they're delighted. So when we know they're delighted by being in a champion, big spender, and loyalist segment that Unific has synced into HubSpot. With this, you don't, like I said before, you don't have to figure out the segments yourself. This is being done for you. And so simplifying your ability to launch this campaign. Now you can review a request workflow. Will incentivize with dynamic coupons. So in this workflow, it's not shown here, but we can actually send a coupon if the customer has not responded to this review. Send a coupon to incentivize that review. Next, cultivate. We have, as we discussed before, cultivation is understanding your customer behavior. The more customers you attract, the more you have to cultivate. And if you want to understand their buying behavior, you can understand where the weaknesses are and figure out how you can message them to cover those weaknesses. So if you can get a feedback loop from your customers, you can understand how to fix those issues and get them delighted again. Here's an example, survey low value customers. So if we know which customers are unhappy, we can send out a survey through HubSpot's workflow, magical workflow builder, because you can always enroll contacts who are unhappy, and Unific is going to tell you which contacts are unhappy. And if you can ask the churning segment for feedback with a HubSpot survey, and then if they don't respond, you can also send a coupon to make sure they respond to that survey. VIP treatment, this is a common thing. If you know who your happy customers are and they're buying more and more from you, you want to reward them. There are other apps in the HubSpot ecosystem that you can just pull right into HubSpot workflow. For example, rewards that if customers are happy, you can send them a reward. If they're buying more and more, send them a reward to help them, refer you, as well as having them buy more often from you. Customers want to be treated well, right? So if we know exactly who we need to send the VIP treatment to, that's very powerful. Next, we want to reinforce the value. We want to send engaging content that explains the problems your product solves, that reminds them the value that they're getting, and hopefully, if they haven't bought in a long time, they'll buy again. Even if they don't buy, engagement is still powerful, because now in the future they're set up to buy and they don't forget your brand. We want to provide exceptional customer service. So HubSpot has an inbuilt tool, Service Hub. Is amazing because we actually use it in our own business, and it's powerful because now if your e-commerce data is synced and integrated well with HubSpot, and you have segments understanding the value of every customer, you can now have your customer service hub, customer service agent get all that context right in HubSpot and figure out how to help that customer in a very personalized way. So, for example, if they're really unhappy and they're a high-value VIP customer, and you know that as a customer service agent in HubSpot, then you can provide a really great support experience as well, and make sure you give them coupons or offer them something in return to make sure they're delighted again. So the connected nature of HubSpot is just amazing. That's why we love HubSpot, and that's why we're huge fans of it. So again, how do you personalize a post-purchase experience? We have to think about that as well. In customer cultivation, we're talking about the entire customer journey. So after they buy one time, we don't want to just forget them. We want to make sure that they're happy and send them tips. A common thing I saw, a recent brand I bought from, actually a coffee product, a cold coffee product. They sent me a recipe 2 days later for something I could make with that cold coffee and with some other ingredients. And so I was really happy with that, because now I was able to make a delicious dessert just from that. We also can recommend products based on categories purchased in the past. So if we have a deep data sync and customers who are happy, and you can recommend them and possibly happy with their products, you can recommend them other products that you might want. That's why it's really critical for us to get the data in and also take action, because there are many opportunities in the customer journey. Retention. This is a big thing. How can we determine which customers actually need to be helped to come back? So with Unific, we can load the segment, but with the segment, we also load in whether the customer is active, drifting, churn risk, or lost. So let me explain that a little bit. Active is customers who have bought in their average days between orders, expected average days between orders. Drifting customers have not bought in a while, or they're starting to drift away. Churn risk they really have not bought in a long time, and you may lose them. And then lost are customers who will never buy from you again. So we of course want to focus on drifting and churn risk, where that becomes a weakness in your customer journey. You want to survey those customers and ask them what happened, how can we do better? And of course, surveying a small number of them, make sure you can solve the problem that's causing their unhappiness, to now serve your new customers better. So these things all will work together to create a delightful experience. Example, here's how we can target churning customers. So this is an enrollment for drifting, churn risk, and lost customers. We can generate a unique one-time use expiring coupon code and send it. And then make sure they buy again, because in that way, you're getting the feedback from the survey, and at the same time, you're providing a way for them to come back, incentivizing that. Summary. What we learned, and I went through very fast, but what we learned was simplify taking action with customer cultivation. If you have segments, coupons, these are just tools for you to actually target and incentivize. And the data, of course, will in HubSpot allows you to take action very quickly. You want to take a data-driven approach to growth. We talked about customer cultivation, how to actually use that data to make sure you find the weak customers in the weak part of the customer journey, identify those weaknesses, and then fix them. And the power of HubSpot, I can't say more, allows you to segment, but also target messaging.
So we actually have some questions for you.
Okay.
We have a question of how do you deliver value at every point? And I'm thinking they mean like every point of the shopper's journey. So how to deliver value at every point? So
delivering value may not always be so the customer needs to buy something. It could also be engagement, because not every customer will need your product immediately all the time. But instead of some of the examples I showed, like sending recipes and things that where the products can be used and how you can use it better, those tips allow you to provide the value at different points.
Awesome. And we have there's a lot of questions here. So I'm just one of my favorites, I think, of all these questions is, what is the first workflow you recommend building?
Definitely abandoned carts, especially an abandoned cart with a segment-based approach. So if you're having customers who have abandoned cart and they've bought a product from you before, whether they're a new customer or they're a high-value customer. If they're a high-value customer, most likely they don't need to get a coupon. They're going to buy again. But a low-value customer, they just signed up with you, or they just bought your first product. Maybe you want to encourage the second purchase. So you can provide a coupon for that low-value customer. So with the segments tool, you can actually target who those high-value and low-value customers are, and then send the coupon. So you save margin on the high-value customers, and you on low-value customers, you can still get the high conversion rate.
Awesome. And with that, how do you use all these products together? And if you can give us an example, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. So that abandoned cart example I just used is a perfect one. With the dynamic segments tool, we're loading the segments into HubSpot on the contact record. And you can use that for enrollment of customers into that workflow. And then the next thing would be, if you want to incentivize the review or incentivize just abandoned cart, you can give the coupon. Of course, the abandoned cart itself, knowing that when there's a new abandoned cart and whether they're a high-value customer or low-value customer, is a feature of Unific. So these are the data integration, the segments, and the coupons can all be used together.
Okay, awesome. And then another question is, if you maybe know this information, but what results have customers gotten from you, or have you tried those solutions specifically you're talking about with a merchant?
Yeah, so we have a case study on our website. Basically, it's a company called Mother Earth Products, and they were able to increase the conversion rate for abandoned carts, so from 30% to 40%, because they took that segment-based approach, and they only sent coupons to the low-value segments, and high-value segments did not get a coupon.
And we have another one. I'm sorry, this is like rapid fire for you. But does Unific act as a CDP as well?
So it's going in that direction. With the segments and calculation of the segments and that report I showed you, which allows you to see the buying behavior, it is acting as a CDP, customer data platform. And we're loading a lot of this data into HubSpot as well. So HubSpot is itself as a CDP. So the two platforms together can allow with Unific adds certain additional powers to HubSpot. So using those two together will create a more complete CDP.
Awesome. And if you could say one thing for everybody in like the e-commerce space, whether it be a tech company or a brand, what is one tool that, or one solution that Unific and HubSpot can do together to really drive their business?
So the segments is the most powerful tool we have because it takes away a lot of the work that you will have to do in HubSpot to determine the value of each customer. If you just know directly what the segment is, now you don't have to go in and calculate each segment inside of HubSpot. It's easy to do, and in some ways it's easy, in other ways it's more difficult, especially if you have multiple sources of data coming in, and you'll be modifying those segments anytime something changes. You have to go modify the segment and data in HubSpot manually. With Unific, those segments are updated automatically. So if a customer moves from one segment to another after they change their buying behavior, Unific will automatically change that segment. So in HubSpot, all you have to do is once a campaign, your workflow is set up, you don't have to change it again.
Okay, awesome. That's really great. And I have a question. So me being a data-minded person, if I were to use Unific and HubSpot together, is there like custom reporting I can do with that?
Yeah, definitely. We are syncing data to the contact record as well as the deal record. So when we sync orders bought, products bought, products categories bought, that's some of the unique reporting you can do directly through the contact record. Typically, other integrations only sync to the deal record, what data was purchased, what products were purchased, and so that provides some unique reporting. And then, of course, we sync all the data from your shopping cart, historical, and you can, if you have multiple connections, you can also split that data using filters in HubSpot.
Awesome.
And of course,
And
one thing would be segments. If you want to know which products are most popular for which segment, you can also do that.
awesome, cool. So with the past couple of years, with the pandemic and online shopping probably increasing, where do you see that buyer being? Is it going to be more online? Do you think they're going to be going to the store more? And how do you think everybody can benefit from using something like this to further their business?
I think it's going to be a hybrid experience. Stores are still important because if you want to try things on or want to experience the product in a physical way before you buy. But when you're at the store, maybe you will actually buy it online. You may try it out, but maybe you'll buy it online because it's just more convenient. Or the next time you may buy it online. We are seeing more companies asking about more B2B nature as well. They used to go somewhere to buy something, but now even on the B2B side, they're expecting to be like B2C. They want to be able to buy on their own.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So as you can see here on the screen, there is an ebook of 5 customer cultivation workflows that you can launch today. And I'm putting that link in the chat so it's easier for you guys to click on it, since obviously you can't click on that PowerPoint. But thank you so much for being our first eCom hug. And if any of you are interested in speaking, or if you know of someone you want to speak, please let me know. And I also have the link to join the community group in the chat. It's pinned up top. And I think the next slide is our contact details. So if you want to get in touch with either of us, you can screenshot this slide and really get to know us, ask us more questions. And if you want this slide deck, I will be posting it on the event page as well as emailing it out. And I'm going to have it on SlideShare and the recording of this presentation as well. And you'll be getting emails with all of that. So thank you so much. Again, I'm Christina Kay, VP of Marketing at Reseller Ratings, and we really enjoyed your conversations, your questions, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you, Christina. We had a great time.
Thank you. Bye.